And hello, one and all here. Finally back with some Hades 2. Sorry for the wait, but I've got a very special video here. It's going to be a little bit different in that I'm going to provide some post-run commentary on a speed run that I did that is now currently on the leaderboards. I believe it's 5th for patch 4 currently. Humble brag. I hate when people say humble brag, but I just did it. So what does that tell you? Anyway, I'll have a timestamp at the bottom here that'll tell you exactly when the actual run is going to start in case you want to skip some expository information that I'm going to give you. So I want to take a look at the Arcana deck firstly, just to make some key points about things that we do take and don't take here. Even though we don't use the mega moves, you pretty much never want to take Sorceress in a speed run because it doesn't slow down the in-game timer, which is bad. It's slow. And we don't want slow when we're going speedy. But we do take the Huntress because there's a specific heat setting that sets our magic at 50%. And with the aspect that I'm using, the Medea Skull, we really don't use magic anyway. So this is just free damage for us. Besides that, anything else to note? You want to take the Furies and you want to take Origination because those are just big damage boosts, especially since you're often applying the curse with your cast. So you're basically going to get plus 80% damage once you get those 2 curses there, which is great. And then, of course, a Swift Runner. You know, it's faster, very helpful in a speed run. And then making sure we take all of these surrounding cards here, just to make sure we have the Seer to allow us to manipulate the run as much as we can with rerolls. I've seen the Artificer taken in some runs. I don't do it. I just find it a little too unreliable, but it really kind of just depends on the depends on your playstyle, probably whatever aspect you're taking. I don't find it helpful for Medea though. But we do want to make sure we have this column here fully lit up so that we get Divinity on, because those epic boons really helpful. And as you will see in the run, we get a lot of epic boons, as it turns out. So that's that explanation there. I talk about Medea and the keepsakes I take plenty. So let's just look at the fear here. So 40% move speed just gets the enemies faster. I think it makes them spawn faster. I think some of the invincibility frames of bosses goes by a little bit faster. Don't quote me on that. That might be wrong, though. It is dangerous, though. I think a lot of people probably knock this down to 20%, but we keep it at 40% because we like to live dangerously in the danger zone. So beyond that, just have this on because, you know, this is a speed run. If this was an issue, we would not be bothering. But just keep it on for funsies. And finally, this to make sure the Huntress is active at all times. So that's the explanation. Hope you enjoy the run. Till next time. Bye. Well, not bye, because you're about to see the run. Okay. Let's not think about that. Have fun. Enjoy. All right. Here we go. Showing off a death before the actual run, as is customary and required to get onto the speedrun leaderboards for the Any Fear unmodded leaderboard anyway. Basic reason that is prevents you from doing RNG manipulation, starting out with a specific seed, knowing what boon you'll get out right out of the gate, that sort of stuff. And petting Chronos here. We always pet Chronos, or I do anyway, and everybody should. It's good luck to pet Chronos. So cute. So pettable. Yeah. Of course, aspect of Medea here. I'll talk a little bit more about that aspect as run goes on. But we're taking the Cloud Bangle to get a Zeus boon at the start here. And that first death had this last fear on here. Just gets rid of those death defiances. Makes the reset quicker. You'll notice, interestingly, I take Storm Ring instead of the Special. Special is much more common to take, I think, but I found that when you're really trying to push down the timer here, having the Storm Ring on, especially in this first biome, lets you set it off, wipe out a group of enemies while you focus on another group of enemies. And one of the reasons Medea Skull, at least was a very popular speedrun aspect, is that it's a very powerful out of the gate weapon. Even just the standard attack, no boon special, kills enemies very fast, as you can see. we're off to a very good start here between that Chaos Gate and that third chamber being very quick. You really start to see how Storm Ring can just wipe out enemies in this first round very fast. It's also just very good damage for bosses later on, and we get Demeter right there. Demeter is great to get down the attack, not only for the curse to set up origination, but it's also very helpful for some enemies later on, especially in the second biome, as you'll see. And it's epic there, so yeah. That's at least one reason you take that Arcana setup, is to make sure you have that epic one activated. Epic boons are great. They're not necessary, but obviously they're nicest to have. And I think I'm just making sure I grab any possible coin I can get. Obviously, if we are going for in-game, or excuse me, RTA, which is known as real-time attack, we would not do that. And I grab the hammer here. Bolstered Array is probably the ideal next to Possessed Array. And I roll right there, get more Zeus, which is wonderful.
Worth the risk.
I take Quick Buck there. Just getting extra coin throughout the run is really, really helpful. Now, that's another reason that I prefer taking Storm Ring at the start now, because you can use some rerolls to try and get Zeus onto that mini-boss room and then get the special anyway. And we're able to verify it there too. Awesome. Getting Artemis. Again, Artemis will be bad for RTA. Love her for in-game time. Completely stops the timer. And I believe I'm able to pull off a little bit of, quote, speedrun tech here that you'll hopefully be able to see. I recorded this run about a month ago now, so there you saw it there. If her sights are trained on an enemy, you can kill that last enemy before she gets off her shot, then Artemis appears immediately. It probably should be fixed so she just appears immediately no matter what, but at least for now you have to do that to make sure you optimize timing. This room's kind of a drag though. They are the little rotating guys there. They are at least armored, so there's not going to be a ton of them, but yeah. And a little bit of pause buffering there. We're going to take the palm, get that on the special. Palming the special, super, super important. It really builds up that damage very quickly. Anything that has base damage, especially if it's a primary source of damage, you want to make sure you palm that. That tends to be more bang for your buck. So we're at 121. And do I take Aphrodite here? I don't think I do.
Here's the gold.
Should be noted, one of the things that makes Medea Skull, I would say, not as popular to use as a speedrunning weapon is there's just no good setup for Heartthrobs like there is for Charon Axe and for Boros Flames. You really need to get Possessed Array. It's like the only real way that you're going to be able to get Heartthrobs going. So having a hammer required there, even if it's a hammer that you do want in Possessed Array, it's just not... oh, wow, that was really, really close. That would have killed the run if I got hit by a spell. I'm surprised. I did not remember it being that close. Yeah. There's just not enough consistency if you need a hammer to get a run fully online. 154.58. That wasn't a perfect... yeah, that wasn't a perfect Hecate Fight. Took it a little too long to get the spell to hit Chronos. We took a little too long on the witches, but the Storm Ring is helpful in that regard too, since it can take out a couple of witches while you focus on other ones. Now, you saw me roll there somewhat aggressively to get that Chaos Gate. Again, I don't know that I've seen a lot of people actually do that in runs, but I think it's worth it, especially when I'm aiming to really push down the time with Medea Skull. Also, putting on the keepsake to get an extra hammer. That 20 encounters, I believe, that is going to carry us through the rest of the run here. And right now I'm looking at this wondering, is it worth taking the 120% special damage? I choose not to because the curse there that causes Infernal bombs to pop out, it's very, very dangerous. And the time we have is very, very good. That was a very, very good room there. And I didn't want to blow it. Unfortunate that we got Narcissus and the shop offered there as options. That's a little suboptimal. And Hera, if we didn't get Demeter on the attack, we would have looked for Hera on the attack. I take Born Gain just in case we do see Possessed Array later in the run. I'm not really sure what I was rolling for there, but it ends up being a free room anyway, which is great. Now, the Serpent mini-boss here, very, very annoying in mini-boss. Having the Demeter attack lets us freeze him in place, and in conjunction with the special and the Storm Ring, lets him wipe him out before he teleports. I take Hailstorm, just a bit of extra damage there. And I think at this point, I'm starting to think, damn, this is a really, really fine run we got going here. Look at this, we have the cocoons here. Medea's a little frustrating to bust open these cocoons. You can see the skull does not explode on them, so it takes a little longer than it would with some of the other weapons. Take Heffy here for safety. You know, getting something like mint condition, for example. Excellent boon mint condition really helps to make sure that we survive these runs, especially in the final biome when we will take the white antler. More on that to come. So with the Sirens, main strategy, make sure you knock down Jetty as quickly as possible because she can teleport away, add some extra time here. I do a pretty good job of that. I think I'm able to knock her down again. Again, Storm Ring, just a lot of damage, especially on these bosses here. And it's just very, very excellent choice, you know? Like, the more I use Storm Ring, more I think it is an S tier boon. So yeah, 247. And I think I was checking to see if the recording was working there. Now I swap over to the droplet. Yeah, I think. Oh, I contemplate Long Fang. Let's go, man. I go with the droplet. I think the movement speed there is just super, super important in the fields here. More important than getting that bonus damage from Lion Fang. Droplet is a no-brainer if you're using Charon or Moros Flames, though, for the extra cast speed. But I still find the movement speed to be very, very important, even on a weapon. At this point, I'm kicking myself for not taking the 120% special bonus damage Chaos Boon, because we get Colossus Driver. A fine hammer in its own right. It's certainly not the best from Medea. It's a pretty good amount of damage, though. Yep, we're gonna go more Zeus. Probably look for double strike.
Let's begin.
Easy work of that mini boss. Oh, I'm sure we go for Static Shock.
Shocking every time.
Static Shock, a really, really strong boon, I think.
Hi, Echo. I'm grateful. Grateful.
Oh yeah, and this point, I know that I'm not going to get Possessed Ray. So I take King's Ransom, add some additional levels to all of our Zeus boons, so they're going to be doing great amounts of damage. You also see me not doing the little bit attack where you dash and then use the special on the skull. That is a little bit faster when you don't have bonus speed, but as soon as you have bonus speed, I think it's kind of a wash. So I just use the sprint. take Gale Force there. It's always really nice to see that mini boss there too. Helps speed things up. Unfortunately, we don't get the Nemesis encounter here. We got the free Nemesis room, but not a Nemesis encounter. I don't think you can get a Nemesis encounter in Fields if she shows up as a free room in Oceanus. Like, there's a timer associated with when Nemesis can appear. So we would have wanted to see Nemesis in Erebus. So that was probably one of the big time misses in this run, I would say. It's what stopped us from getting sub 7, probably, most of all. Bridal Glow is great because we only have 7 encounters left in this run. We have Cerberus, we have 5 in Tartarus, and then we have Chronos. And it happened to hit probably the 2 best ones here, the special and was it Static Shock? I think it did hit Static Shock. Maybe it would have better hit Storm Rain. I shouldn't say it hit definitively the 2 best, but it hit the special. That's great. If memory serves, I think our last set of boons wasn't really that great though. Like, we have Hefe in the pool. It would have been great to get a core boon from him and then maybe get Master Conductor. But I don't think that happens.
Now. You're all right.
I didn't talk about that Cerberus fight at all. But it's a chunky fight. And with Medea, it's a little bit wonky. I like to try to hit his hands or his back. And we're not going to take that cascade, just extra time at this point. We do have to take the White Antler, which caps our health at 30, but gives us 30% critical chance. Crits are incredibly powerful because that bonus percentage on crits is multiplicative with our other damage sources, including other bonus percent damages. So crits are incredibly powerful. As you can see, just vaporizing enemies very fast. You want to make sure to be very, very careful of those hourglasses. Getting caught in their time warp thing, very, very bad loss. That was a really, really good first Tartarus room. Sometimes first Tartarus rooms take a long time. We're getting lucky here, getting a lot of armored enemies, which just clears out much, much more. Now, I go to Dad here to get life tax for safety. I have heard that going to him adds enemies to these extra encounters because it increases the number of chambers in the run. And so potentially that could have stopped me from getting sub 7 if it's true. I didn't know it at the time actually, but it's possible I would have gone to Dad anyway because the run was going very, very well. And getting the life tax there, just super, super good for safety. Because 30 health is not a lot. Chronos can kill you in one hit, and a lot of these enemies can get very, very close to that. I mean, that was a really quick room, so I don't know. I don't know definitively that information is correct. Let's just assume it is for now. I think I remember there being like a slight mistake here where I think I allowed an enemy to live for way longer than I should have because I thought they got killed. Oh! It seemed fine. Like, that seemed like a pretty solid Tartarus overall. And unfortunately, these are not the gods I wanted to see. I really wanted to see Zeus again or Hefe. Didn't get that. So I spend quite a while like considering what I want to take here. We didn't even get armor offered, which is a real rip. Boy, I spend a real long time thinking about something that I don't think ends up mattering at all. Oh, I didn't talk about that Artemis boon. A lethal snare is awesome, of course, on Medea. Like 16% crit chance with your attacks when the enemy is in your cast is great.
In the name of Hades.
Yeah, like we don't want that trade, obviously, and rousing reception is neither here nor there. At this point, I would have taken a trade on the attack. Maybe that's what I was going for.
Fit
But I
for a
probably should have
queen.
just looked at what Demeter is going to offer. She might have offered,
Refreshing.
I don't know.
You yet persist.
Maybe the boon that has freeze lasts longer. That would have been better, probably. So yeah, you can see just how quickly we knock down and phase Chronos here. That's just the power of the way here. And unfortunately, it's still not nearly as quick as Caronax and Morel's Flame. They can get those heart throbs out. Like, with those weapons, you can basically insta-phase Chronos. So unfortunately, I just could not get like a sub 1 minute run on Chronos here. It's not quite good enough for that. I think if we had gotten double strike, it's possible.
Time to die.
You're gonna see me here, just try and go for it. It's certainly possible to phase him, and we basically phased him at the exact same time that infinite attack hit us there. 999 damage, right? A little bit of a bummer, but again, life tax, helping to make sure we survive, and he's dead. And there is the time, 7:02.14. Really, really good, especially for this patch, especially when we're missing the engagement ring. I didn't talk about that at all, but engagement ring used to be amazing before this patch. Now it's not so much. Yeah, you can see there, even though Static Shock was a pretty late addition, 22,443 is really strong. So we had a pretty consistent big breakdown there. And you can see the special doing a lot throughout the run, even though we didn't get that Chaos boon. That could have potentially gotten us under 7 too. But you know, you should just never think that way when you're playing this game. You do your best. And with the way Siege changed, depending on choices, dialogue, other things, if I had taken that Chaos boon, this run may not have succeeded anyway. So, but yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope my commentary was insightful,
Return to shadow now.
maybe enjoyable, who knows. I'll leave that up to the viewer to decide, but you know, like, sub, comment, do the thing.
Night, I guess.
If you have ideas for
Another
runs,
night,
let me
another
know. If you
missing
like
run.
these speed run thing, let me know. I can maybe do more of those videos, but hope you enjoy that. Okay, bye.